What's up, guys? Brett Okamoto from ESPN, joined by Ali Abdelaziz, one of the busiest men in mixed martial arts. He was at the, I saw him at the Sphere card. Of course, he wouldn't miss that. He was sitting next to Umar Nurmagomedov, so excited to hear what Umar thought about that fight. But now he is in Salt Lake City to take care of some of his guys up there who are going to be on the next UFC pay-per-view card. So Ali, always good to see you, man. And we haven't done this in a little bit, so we got a lot of guys to talk about. So I'm just going to start going, and we'll just go through a bunch of the guys on your roster because we need updates on all of them. First one, number one pound for pound fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev. You know, we've been waiting to see what is happening with his hand, if he was going to need surgery. What can you tell us about Islam Makhachev?
Islam is good, man. He never kind of wanted the surgery. He's fine. He's been training. Probably end of the year, beginning of next year, this is when we're going to see the pound for pound king, the real pound for pound king. Okay, Dana White. And Islam going to be fighting somebody, doesn't matter who, whatever the UFC chose. We always say, Islam Makhachev always say, if you're a UFC champion, you can't choose opponents. You have to fight whatever the UFC give you. And whatever the UFC going to give us, he's going to be ready.
I feel like you're the only person right now, like in the world, who can tell Dana White that John Jones is not the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, that Islam Makhachev is, and he won.
I believe he is. I believe he is. Listen,
I think a lot of people believe he is.
John is great. He's amazing. He's one of the greatest fighters ever. I just don't think he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world, and I don't think he's the GOAT. That's his opinion.
You said at the end of the year or early next year, which one seems more likely to you? Like, could he be ready for December, or are we looking more likely like next year?
Doesn't matter. December, January, whatever the UFC wants, he's ready. He's been training. He's back. He just, got a 5-round war with Dustin Poirier. Take a little bit of time off. He's already back in the gym and training.
Hey, actually, one other thing I want to ask you about, because I remember when I was in Newark and Islam was there, and I asked him, I was like, dude, I actually think if Belal wins the championship, that you would still fight Belal because you want that welterweight championship so bad. And since then, it doesn't sound like that. But where are we at in terms of Islam's hopes of winning a belt in the second weight class?
I think as long as the Belal is the champion, I don't think Islam is going to go up. They're very good friends, and train together. And I think it's too much respect and too much integrity and honor between these two guys. And I don't think Habib will ever allow that, or Islam will allow that, or Belal will allow that. And we'll keep it at that.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Speaking of Belal, let's just go to him next. Shavkat, is that what we're looking at? And when do you think that title fight could happen?
It can be Shavkat, it can be Kamaru Usman, it can be whoever. Like I said, if you're the UFC champion, there's one man decide his name, a bald-headed man by name Dana White. He's from Las Vegas. He make the decision. And whatever they want, Belal gonna fight. Doesn't matter who.
What about time?
Belal wanna fight before end of the year.
He does. He wants to.
He would like to fight in December 7th. And it's been talking about him fighting in December, but there's no confirmation yet. But most likely gonna see the Belal end of the year.
Will we see Usman this year?
Kamaru's ready, man. Listen. I'm telling you something. Kamaru's finally healthy. He got the surgery he needs to do. And I believe Kamaru's one fight away from a title fight, and he's very dedicated, man. He's very disciplined. A lot of people doesn't know this about Kamaru, man. He's one of the most professional guys you ever meet. He does everything right. He sleep right. He eat right. He train right. He invests in his body. And we understand, he's coming off a couple of losses. But listen, let's be real. Like, the losses he's coming off. He fought Hamzat. It was a very close fight at a different weight class, 10 days notice. Leon, the first fight, we know what happened. He beat the hell out of him like he stole something, and he caught him with a kick. I think the second fight, him and Leon, I thought Leon cheated, grabbed the fence, and I think Kamaru won. But doesn't really matter. But he's good. He's ready to go. Me and Hunter this week, we're going to meet, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do with Kamaru. And that's it.
You give us a little bit of insight into, you said he's finally healthy and he got the surgery he needed. It did seem like Kamaru was dealing with health issues for the last, for as long as I can remember. How inhibited was he from injuries, and how much healthier is he now than he was the last time we saw him?
Let me tell you something. Every fight week of Kamaru for the last 7 fights, we went and got him 6 injection shots. knees, shoulder, hips, everywhere. He got injections just to fight. When he fought Tyron Woodley, he showed up with a booth to the media day. He fought with a broken legs. People doesn't know what this man have been through. But at the end of the day now, we know he have to get somebody, to beat somebody up. And after that, Belal will fight, and both of these guys will fight. I think this is, a great fight to make in the future. But, Belal have to focus on Shafkat if he's fighting Shafkat, and Kamaru need to focus whoever want him to fight. And listen, the UFC might come be like, hey, Belal maybe fight Kamaru, but I don't think this is the case. But whatever happened. But one thing I can tell you this: Belal will fight anybody they give him. Kamaru will fight anybody they give him. But at the point, I think all of them, they're going to fight somebody else. And maybe they'll fight. And I believe Kamaru still will some of the best pound-for-pound fighter on the list. Belal is unbelievable story, what he represents. What an amazing guy. People give him no respect. He did everything by hard work. He didn't do it by talking. He didn't do it by being a superstar. He did it by hard work and dedication. He's a true example. What the UFC, if maybe the UFC is not behind you, he was behind himself. He believed in himself, and he become a champion. And if you don't respect Belal, you should be watching cricket.
Let's get to the Sphere of last weekend, man. That was an incredible weekend for the sport. You were there. Great seat, sitting next to Umar Nurmagomedov the whole night. What did first off, just give me your thoughts on the experience itself, and if you think it'll happen again, because everybody's kind of talking about that. Do you think they'll go back to the Sphere? And then what was Umar saying all night?
First of all, there's no kissing ass here or brown nosing. Dana White, he's the greatest promoter in any sports, tennis, basketball, NFL, whatever happened, you have to be there to experience it. Whatever we lived, we was living in Mars. I feel like I was living in space. I was in Mars, space, things flying, and big respect for Dana White and his team. Unbelievable job. But people forget, this man been doing this to change our life, to change the sport for the last 30 years. And Dana White I always respect him, always have a lot of him. But and the Sphere, it was different kind of respect. It's almost admiring him, admiring Craig Basari, Sean Shelby, McMahon, Hunter, all these people who put this on event. It's crazy. I felt like I was watching the opera on steroids. It was not a UFC event like pay-per-view, T-Mobile Arena. It was different. It was fun. It was colorful. It was crazy. The fight was great, right? Outside the co-main and main, But in a way, doesn't really matter. The fight can suck all night long, but the show was crazy.
Yeah.
If you was there, it was crazy. I don't think people watching on TV did him even 10% just. It was insane. And give the man his flower. Dana White is an unbelievable figure in sports history.
Yeah, I agree. As much as Craig and the UFC production team tried to make it so that you could see what was going on by watching the broadcast, you can't recreate a 160,000 square foot screen. I mean, it was mind blowing to me. I can literally describe it as it blew my mind.
That was an avatar. You watched the Avatar movie? That was a real life avatar. Dana White is the star of the show. For the first time, the fighter always the star of the show. It will always be the star of the show. This event, they will not the star of the show. Greg Basari, Dana White, Lawrence, Hunter, all those guys was the star of the show, headed by Dana White. You have to give these people credit. They spent $20 million plus to give something special to be talked about. I don't think people understand it because they was not there. And you have to give him their flower for sure.
Yep, I agree. And again, so you were with Umar the entire night. Merab Dvalishvili wins. Everybody knows Merab has been pretty clear, does not believe that Umar deserves the next title shot, believes that Davison Figueiredo does. What was Umar saying? What do you think is going to happen? Just give us a little bit of your perspective on that situation.
First, I like Merab. I think he's a great kid, and congratulations. But At the end of the day, even if you don't want to fight somebody, you are world champion. You should never say, I don't want to fight anybody. He doesn't deserve it. Because what? He was in the same position. Nobody think he deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
But he been deserving it. And I was happy he got the title shot. I was happy for him. He won. No, everybody loves Merab. But you have to face the music.
Mm-hmm.
Umar clearly is the A side. Clearly, who's the people caring about. The UFC posted A and B and C. The comment was 95% comment. Everybody want to see Umar fight. You know, listen, Umar will be a champion. Umar will break Khabib's record. And he will start undefeated. I said that about Khabib before. I said that about this many guys before. And I said, people, Kamaru going to become a champion. Henry become a champion. People say I was stupid. I didn't know what I'm talking about. I can tell you this. Umar will become a champion in 2024, 25, whenever Merab ready. And he's going to remain a champion till the day he's retired. He is this good. Umar is the best out of all of them. He's better than Khabib, Islam, Usman. He's well-rounded.
Wow.
I know Umar for 10 years, right? For the last 5 years, I haven't seen anybody take Umar down. Can you? I'm talking about he trained with Islam Makhachev, trained with his brother, he trained with some of the best guys. Umar is a real-life ninja. He can do it all. He beat Corey Sanhagen, and I think Corey Sanhagen one of the best fighters in the bantamweight division at his own game.
Yeah.
You know, 44, and I respect Corey so much, and I respect Merab. But if Merab as a champion, you have to say, you know what? I'm the baddest dude on the planet. I'll fight anybody. Doesn't really matter, you know. And he's fighting. He's fighting. The UFC tell me they're just waiting for a date, you know. And he's the world champion. And I'm not saying this is an easy fight for Umar at all. I think it's a very hard fight for Umar because Merab is this good, and I respect this guy. But in a way, right now, Umar is the best bantamweight in the UFC. He'll be pound for pound #1 at one day, and save this video because I know how good this kid is. Now Umar is not the 25 years old Umar. He's not the 21 years old Umar. He's 28 years old. Umar become a man now. And everybody will understand when they face him. Ask Corey Sanhagen. He will tell you how Umar is.
Yeah, of course. Umar, the quiet guy, he doesn't say a whole lot. What did he say about the fight, and what did he say about what Merab said after the fight?
He said, I'm going to make this look easy. He said, I'm going to dominate him. He said, I'm going to strike with him. I will take him down, and I'm going to smash his face. That's what Umar told me. You know, this is nothing personal. Like I said, Merab is hard not to like this guy, man. He's full of life, funny, charismatic.
He is.
In the way, it's white papaka versus black papaka. It's these two guys come from the same mountain. You understand? I think it's one of the most anticipated fight ever. Because I think Merab is, these two guys will build this fight, and I think will be great. And listen, I think it's going to be very respectful between both guys. And I hope will not become ugly, because this is not what we need. And I would like Sean O'Malley to do this. I would like Sean O'Malley to take as much time he wants off. And I believe Umar will beat Merab. And after that, Umar will give him a title shot coming off a loss. I think Sean O'Malley, one of the biggest stars in the sport, this is a business about making money. And I think Sean O'Malley deserves a title shot coming off a loss. You know why? Because Sean O'Malley gonna make everybody in this division make money. It's not Merab. It's not Umar yet. Umar will be though. Because Umar have 2 billion people around him, behind his back. He'll be the second Khabib. Believe me, brother. You know, but he doesn't talk much. He needs to trash talk a little bit more, like Khabib did. But Umar is special. He's very special. I've been telling people about Umar for a long time. And finally, he's here.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say this, because if I don't, the comments are going to crush us. You're saying that Merab needs to fight anybody, but then you're saying that you'll give Sean O'Malley a title shot off of a loss. But I will say it is because, right, Merab deserved a title shot so much. Umar deserved a title shot so much. If Umar were to beat Merab, who is that guy? Who's the bantamweight that just has to get a title shot over Sean O'Malley? There's not one really after that.
Umar will fight anybody. It can be Peter Yan, it could be Figueiredo. But this is about making money. I'm talking about Sean O'Malley, nobody gives a shit about bantamweight division and before.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give credit what credit. I don't know Sean O'Malley. We're not friends. We're not. I don't have a pink hair. But the guy who brought a lot of hype to the division. And the way, how you don't give this guy a title shot coming from a loss? Who cares? He gave Frankie Edgar a title shot come from a loss before. He gave Izzy a title shot come from a loss before. You know what I'm saying? But you can't give O'Malley a title shot after getting dominated like that. He got dominated by Merab. It wasn't even close. I don't know what the judges was thinking. Merab won 40-55, 50-45, you know? But I believe this about hype, about business, about making money, about this. Listen, if you told me Figueroa or Merab gonna be people care about it, nobody gives a shit. Peter Yan and Merab, nobody cares. Umar and Merab, people care. Umar and Sean O'Malley, people care.
Yeah, they would.
Listen, I believe Umar is the A side here. It's not Merab. 100%.
Yeah.
Umar have almost 2 million followers on Instagram. He's not even a champion. You know, we know this is a lot of money the UFC make from these regions. A lot of money, millions and millions of dollars. You know, you know, and in a way, like at the end of the day, Merab, you know, he have to keep winning. He have to try to beat Umar, to beat the guy, to get the respect he deserves. But I believe this is Umar's toughest fight and Merab's toughest fight. And the best two guys in the world are going to fight each other.
Bantamweight is just a sick division right now. And you know who's also in bantamweight is Henry Cejudo. What's going on with Henry, and what do you think is his next step?
Henry at this point, man, is like Henry, he going to do what he needs to do. Henry want to fight Sean O'Malley. If Sean O'Malley pick up the phone and be like, hey, I want to fight Henry, I think this fight will happen. Henry talking about going to 125 pounds. I don't believe him, but I didn't believe this guy about a lot of things, and somehow he make it happen. He did fight Merab with a completely torn injuries. He tore his quad, and I begged him not to fight. He did well against Merab, much better than O'Malley, and I think he fought 50% Henry. Henry's still in the conversation, but Henry, you know, is one of the biggest podcasters in the world right now, and he's a superstar. And whatever Henry wants, I think Henry should get. You know, and you know the guy is a legend, and sometimes you have to let him do what he needs to do.
At the beginning of the year, I would have said that, and I did say that someone that we might have seen at the Sphere, if they were going to do a big Mexican Independence Day at the Sphere, it might have been Tatiana Suarez, but she had to pull out of a fight with an injury earlier this year, and then we haven't heard anything about her. What's going on with Tatiana Suarez?
Tatiana's fighting in December 7th. She's gonna fight for #1 contender match because the champ is not ready to fight. This is all I'm going to tell you.
All right, perfect. So we'll
listen.
let,
I'm telling you, this one person also, Tatiana Suarez. She's one person. She get injured a lot. Now she have a different strategy for training, and now people not happy to fight Tatiana Suarez. Let's be real. I train with Tatiana Suarez a couple days a week. What this young lady, she does, the only close person as she does was Khabib. They have the same style of fighting. She is not try to promote her. She's the female Khabib on this side. She's very dominant. Certain things she does, and I never see female does this kind of things, you know?
Okay, so we'll be looking for Dana to announce a fight for Tatiana Suarez in December, which is great news. How about one of my favorite guys in the sport, man, because he's such a gentleman, Beneil Dariush? What is going on with Beneil as of late?
5 minutes ago, I was talking to Sean Shelby about Beneil. He said he's gonna see what happened in the main event in France, and he's gonna let me know what he want to do. And I said, okay.
Okay, that would make sense. So we'll keep an eye on that. What about what were your thoughts on Magomed Ankalaev not getting a title shot, Khalil Rountree getting one instead? What's going on here with Magomed Ankalaev? Because it would seem to me that he is nothing against Rountree. It would seem to me Ankalaev is the #1 contender.
Certain fighters will have the long road for the title, like Khabib, like Kamaru Usman, like Islam Makhachev. But when they get there, they become dominant. Listen, the UFC have different views about what they want to do with Alex Pereira. They thought they won him for Utah. They wanted Magomed Ankalaev will fight in Abu Dhabi in his market. He fight in, and guess what? Magomed have a new deal. He was very happy with, and listen, he deserves a title shot. It's it is bullshit. He's not getting a title shot. It is what it is. But if he have to take and he just fought for the title too. This is kind of what the UFC said. But in reality, I believe he's the best light heavyweight in the planet. I know it. You know it. Dana White know it. Mick Manning know it. Alex Pereira become a big star. You can take this away from him. The guy's always game to fight. But every road have an end. What I promised, why? Magomed Ankalaev will handle business. Alex Pereira will handle business. And these two guys will fight in 2025.
You do think they'll fight? Because I was going to ask. I mean, let's just like, let's not dance around it here. You're right. Pereira has gotten a lot of star power. Ankalaev is great, but doesn't have the big fan base, especially in the United States. So I could see a world, and they're kind of already happening, in which the UFC would not put them together. You think they will put them together though at some point?
They have to. If Merab got a title shot, anybody can get a title shot. Let's be real. Like Merab is not Dana White's favorite person to give him a title shot too. But at the end of the day, still integrity. The UFC have integrity. Sometimes they prolong it, but you still, if you earn it, like a guy like Mufsar, right? At the beginning, he's 8-0 in the UFC. He may need 2-3 fights before to get a title shot. But if you 21-0, best record in the UFC, and Kurt Rasta, you can't say no to him. Understand? But everything in time. But when these type of guys get there, like Islam Makhachev, like Kamaru Usman, like the Khabib, they stay there for a long time. Umar, the reason Umar got Corey Sandhagen, Umar, nobody want to fight him, ranking, not ranked in, top 15, top 20, top 50. UFC have to sign guys from Kazakhstan.
Oh.
Umar was the most avoided fighters in UFC history. I thought it was Khabib, but no, it's Umar, right? And Corey Sandhagen, a real man, stepped up, went there and fought him, and that's what I think. Corey Sandhagen deserves a very big fight. He can fight O'Malley too.
I agree with you that Corey Sandhagen deserves it. These guys who are willing to put like title shots and their rankings on the line. I love to see it because it's great for the sport.
UFC will take care of Corey Sandhagen 100%.
So another guy who did that is Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje had a title fight, and he put it on the line with a BMF fight against Max Holloway. Didn't go their way, but it resulted in the best thing that happened this year, the best knockout, a UFC 300. It was great for the sport and for the company. What is Justin Gaethje going to come back to, do you think?
I think Justin Gaethje can do whatever the fuck he wants, honestly. I would like him to fight Conor McGregor or Dan Hooker. That's what I like him to see fight. And I think he will get a title fight, and I will make sure Justin Gaethje will be the next #1 contender. 100% he'll be the #1 contender. You cannot deny this man what he gave up for him to kind of very much save UFC 300. He was the star of UFC 300. He was him and Max Holloway, they put on a show. It was not Alex Pereira. Let's be real. It was not, what's his name, the other guy who fought, Black, what was his name? Who Alex Pereira fought?
Yuri.
It was not, nobody knows who Yuri is, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But it was the main event. It was Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. UFC doesn't forget that. And they remember that, and I make sure I remind him.
Hold on. It wasn't, I just got to fix that real quick because that was not sitting well in my head. It wasn't Yuri. It was Jamal Hill.
UFC, whatever it is, but it doesn't really matter. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway was a real main event.
Yeah.
No, everybody knows.
You mentioned Conor McGregor. Like, what do you think the situation is there with Michael Chandler? They had promised Michael Chandler for 1,000,000 years that it was going to be him. Can they take that away now, even if he wins or loses this fight against Charles Oliveira? Like, could you see? Do you see a possibility with Gaethje coming in and potentially getting that Conor fight?
Gaethje don't care about fighting Conor McGregor, but everybody like easy money, and he's one of the easiest fights in UFC lightweight division. He's coked out, drunk out, getting kicked out of countries for behaving badly. He got kicked out of Monaco, I believe. Like nobody care about this guy. Honestly, if the UFC want to make it, why not? But if they don't, who cares about him? Nobody cares about him. I don't.
Yeah.
I personally don't care.
When is Gaethje looking to come back? Because he said he was taking some time, but do you think he'll come back this year or probably next year at this point?
Next year.
Right.
Early quarter next year.
Okay. All right, last thing for you, and then I'll let you go because, like I said, you're in Salt Lake. I think I said that already, but he is in Salt Lake City, getting ready for the next pay-per-view. Who do you got on that card? And obviously the name that comes to mind is Kayla Harrison. And did you want Kayla to fight on this card, or did you want her to just sit and kind of chill and wait for the winner of it?
No, bro. I think it's a big mistake when manager make their guys sit out and wait. Like he cannot. First of all, these two girls are fighting. Kayla's gonna win her fight by dominations. Those two ladies, they're gonna take their time. And for Kayla you can buy everything in time. You cannot buy time back. And I think they're gonna not want to fight Kayla. They have no interest in fighting Kayla. They're too small, too slow, too weak to fight someone Kayla. Kayla's gonna smash her next opponent. No disrespect to her. I respect her actually because she wanna fight Kayla. And I'm telling you something. I feel sorry for who's gonna win. Doesn't matter, Juliana or this other lady. And I respect both of them. They're champions. They fought for the title. But in a way, Kayla come off the couch and beat the both of them in the same night. This is how good Kayla Harrison is.
How is obviously for a long time we kind of wondering what it would look like for her to get to 135 pounds, and she did it. She did it very well the first time. But sometimes even the second time can be harder than the first, right? Because then it's just like then you're putting your body through that again. How is she doing with the weight?
It's a hard weight cut. It's always going to be a hard weight cut. But she's a two-time Olympic champion. She never missed weight. But it's always going to be a struggle. It's not easy, We have Roman Dalisky fighting on the card, Marina Rodriguez, Mofsar, got like 5-6 guys on the card. I'm excited. I like Utah. I always like to come here, and I'm here early here with Mofsar to support him, and that's it, man.